This $3 penny stock will be worth at least $30. Currently, they have a market cap of $1 billion, but their new CEO was responsible for turning this $1 penny stock into a $60 plus giant with a market cap of over $16.5 billion. They have a $16 billion project coming online soon, which will generate the company $2 billion in free cash flows. I talked about SOS in my last video, and since then, the stock has taken off over 26%. So if you want to make sure you don't miss out on these moves, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That being said, I'm going to get right into today's video, which is about Tellurian, or ticker symbol TELL. They have a $16 billion project coming online soon, which will generate the company $2 billion in free cash flows. The construction on their project will be starting this summer, which will be the savior for the world's energy needs. Tellurian is committed to supplying energy to the global market with a priority of decreasing urban pollution, reducing worldwide carbon emissions, and slowing the pace of climate change. Tellurian is developing natural gas infrastructure efficiently and responsibly, providing consumers with more reliable, cleaner energy supply and enabling advances in renewable energy alternatives. Their new CEO previously helped Cheniere Energy go from being a $1 startup to a $60 plus giant. They've also brought on many executives involved from that team who have tons of experience in the energy sector. With this management team, they can definitely do it again and bring huge gains to investors who buy today. Cheniere currently has a $65 stock price and a market cap of $16.5 billion, which is 16 times bigger than Tellurian. Tellurian also added Martin Houston as co-founder and vice chairman of the board. Houston was COO of the natural gas giant BG Group, which was acquired for $53 billion. This doesn't mean that Tellurian's market cap will be $16.5 billion tomorrow, but it is very promising that they have brought on such a well-versed leadership team, and if they can deliver on what they're planning on doing, there is huge growth potential in the coming years. Tellurian is currently developing a liquefied natural gas production project called Driftwood LNG. The construction will cost them $16.8 billion, and it will be able to produce 16.5 million tons of LNG per year. The demand for LNG has soared in recent years, and in 2020 hit a record high of 360 million tons. There will be a shortage of LNG starting in 2021, and it will increase in the future because of the supply and demand mismatch. The co-founder of Tellurian even said that the global LNG demand is on track to increase by around 200 million tons over the next 7 years. The Driftwood LNG project is shovel ready, however they still haven't secured project financing, which would be a huge catalyst to move the stock when it does get announced. I think the likelihood of them securing financing is very high because all around the world, countries are now opting for more sustainable and environmentally friendly sources of energy. And because the management team has so much experience building companies from the ground up, investors will have much more trust that they can do it again with Tellurian. The CEO even said there is a strong need for additional liquefaction capacity, and we're probably the project that is closest to starting construction. The demand for the supercooled LNG has surged recently due to the increased demand specifically in countries like China, Korea, Japan, India, and Taiwan. The Asia-Pacific region accounts for over half of the incremental global gas consumption in the coming years, driven mainly by the development of gas in China and India. Natural gas still benefits from strong policy supports in both countries, which is likely to increase the role of gas in the energy mix. Since October, the demand in LNG in China has increased by over 36%, while demand in India and Japan increased by 11% and 9%. Natural gas currently makes up over 20% of non-OECD energy globally. In contrast, the share of coal is 36%. However, globally, we are shifting to use more clean energy sources, which is leading to a reduction in coal plants and an increase in natural gas plants.
We are going to do business with China. We are going to do business with India. In India, LNG demand is up 20% year to date. In China, it's up 8% year to date. Even in Europe, it's up 9% year to date.
So you were right and they were wrong. Everyone had told me that these contracts would be canceled and nobody needs the natural gas. They were all wrong, aren't they?
Well, first, I wrote most of the contracts. They cannot be canceled.
You were dead right. I can't believe how right you've been. Well, you tell the truth and you're not owned by anybody. Maybe that's what makes the difference. That's Sharif Suki, executive chairman of Tellurian. And by the way, right on natural gas and right on oil since we started the darn show.
Tellurian just got a lot of breathing room, adding $50 million in cash to their balance sheet and pushing a term loan that was set to mature in May out to November 2021. The company has $100 million in cash and just lowered corporate expenses to $6 million per month, giving it time to keep developing Driftwood and to find new investors. Some well-known institutions like BlackRock, Vanguard, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman Sachs are heavily invested into the stock. BlackRock and Vanguard own a total of 16 million shares valued at $48.4 million. And in the past year, 60 institutions have increased their position size while just 2 have decreased their positions. At the beginning of the month of January, 5 insiders of the company have bought back shares. This is extremely positive because it shows that the institutions and the executives are confident that the stock price will increase. I can see this stock going to $10 per share by the end of the year, and in a few years, if this company is able to deliver on what they say they can do, I believe it can hit all-time highs of $30 per share. The industry is growing as the world is shifting to find more environmentally friendly and sustainable energy sources. The management team that they have brought on is so well versed in the energy sector, and they all have experience growing startup companies into giants in the industry. I can see Tellurian growing to be a leader in the industry in the upcoming years. If you enjoyed the video, I don't ask much, but please consider subscribing. It really helps motivate me to keep making these videos and shows me your support. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.